Hello, I'm Audie from BellyRhythm, and welcome to Conversations with Rock Stars, where we interview and enjoy performances by the stars in the belly dance community. Our guest this evening is Oreet. Oreet is the creator of SharQui, the belly dance workout. She has over 25 years experience in fitness and dance. She grew up with Israeli and Yemeni folk and Oriental dance. She is an award-winning performer and holds the title of Belly Dancer of the Year and Middle Eastern Dance Champion of North America, just to name a few. Her newest passion is to educate the world about Jewish Mizrahi dance and its relevance in the Arabic culture. Let's enjoy one of her performances. And we're back and welcome Oreet. Thank you so much for joining us at Conversations with Rock Stars.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'll start off by asking the question that I ask most of our guests. How did you get into, I guess I should say, the professional world of belly dance?
Okay, so the professional, how I got into it was through fitness. Um, so I was at a staff meeting at Gold's Gym in New York City, and attendance was very low in group fitness. And the director said, "How can we increase attendance?" And I immediately raised my hand and I said, "Belly dance fitness." And I've never taught a belly dance fitness class. So that's how I started professionally. But personally, I did it in my family growing up.
Great, wonderful. And so you grew up here in the United States or in another country?
Both I had I have a lot of family in Israel, but mainly in the United States, I would consider myself more of an American. But yeah, most of my life in New York.
Okay. First talk about SharQui dance. Okay. Um, that seems to be kind of a melange of a few different styles. Is that correct? Would you say that?
I would actually say it is more of an Egyptian style. So
Oh,
it's your signature belly dance moves, just kicked up a notch.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is so much fun,
Thank
so energetic. And I've been to classes where there were students who didn't quite get the moves or the steps because it was their first time, but they had a blast anyway. And you do an amazing job of setting up routines and music for teachers, right? You have a
you.
whole teaching program, correct? Tell us
I
about
do.
that.
Absolutely, yeah. So SharQui, what it is, it's all about the breakdown. So I created it for the non-dancer, and I wanted to create it for the non-dancer because I really wanted to educate the non-dancer what Middle Eastern dance, Oriental dance, belly dance is really about. Yeah. So you've got to educate people one person at a time. And for me, that's how I thought I could do that. Right. So when developing this, I had to go into the fitness enthusiast mind. And for them, it's all about the breakdown. They don't watch and then do. Right.
Mhm.
So a fitness enthusiast knows that when they go into a gym, they know what they should be working. They know where they should be feeling it. The teacher is letting them know what body part they should be moving. And that's how I mirrored the SharQui workout. So it's all about taking the movement down to its root and building it up with levels or layers or versions until you ultimately get the movement that you want. And each nuance that is added or each layer, that is the different version. So if you're teaching a multi level class, you're able to do it because you're layering it up.
Wonderful. That's great. So, in other words, you can have beginners and experienced people all in one class, and they can all have a great time.
Absolutely. But if they follow the rules, they need to pick their version in order to have a good time.
Okay. So, if Sharkey is based on Egyptian style,
Yes.
when you perform professionally, would that be Egyptian style as well? Or,
I would consider myself more of a modern Egyptian dancer. Um, I like dancing to pop Egyptian music,
mm,
pop music,
yeah,
and also my background, my degree is in contemporary dance. So I add that quality into it, the musicality of it, of modern dance as well. I add a little there's a different type of breath contemporary dance has as opposed to Egyptian dance. There's a way of finishing the movement that I feel is different. And again, this is how I interpret it
right,
and differentiate.
right. I took an amazing workshop with you on preparing to do competitions. And
Mhm.
I think I've done one competition since then. it's it's very nerve-wracking, but you tell us about this workshop because it was wonderful the way you sort of broke things down into things to think about as someone who is either a novice or a professional that want to get into competing.
Yeah. So I think you need to first figure out why you want to compete.
Mm,
Some people want to compete because it's in the networking aspect. Some people want to compete because it's their way to get critique. Other people want to compete because they want to win, right? So you have to figure out why you are doing this and
mhm,
then train accordingly.
mhm,
Okay? So I would say most people want to win. Why not, right? We want to win. um, so here's a strategy that you can do. For me, it's all about strategy. Is watch the past competitors. Watch the winner. See why he or she won and why the others didn't. Interpret why they didn't win.
mhm,
Um, Research the judges. Research what type of styles they do, what you might think they'd be into. Now, I don't mean to like totally change your style of dancing because there's going to be this one judge who does a style of dance, right? But I mean, take it into consideration, right? You could be the type of dancer that would take that into consideration, or you'd be the type of dancer that would be feel like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna feel good, and that's okay. But make that choice and be committed to it. All right. Um, so when I teach this class, we go over whether are you an improvisational dancer or are you a dancer that does choreography. For me, as a judge, I love it when people choreograph. Why? Because when people improvise, I'm not saying all the time, they tend to repeat the same moves and sometimes they miss key accents in the music. And again, it's all subjective. This is why you have all different types of judges. I'm just talking about me, what I like to see. Um, as far as costuming, wear the costume that suits the performance, that suits the music. As far as makeup, we talk about more is better. You want to make sure the balcony can see you. As far as performance quality, use the stage. Don't stay in one place. A lot of restaurant dancers tend to stay in one place, and you want to use the space, right? Um, how about where eye contact? Eye contact to the audience, eye contact to the judges. They love to see that as well. And again, just stay committed. There is one dancer named Ahava. Oh, she's from California. She's wonderful. And she broke the default format of competitions. And for me, the default format is an intro piece. You come out with a medium pace song. I'm giving all my tips. A medium pace song. And then
okay.
you have some sort of prop like zills, and then you go into a tuxing, a drum solo, and then your exit music. Hopefully, if you have enough time to do all that. Well, Ahava came out with folk dance and with a galabia on, um, and she landed on the floor, no exit music. And I'm like, hot damn, Ahava, you broke it. You broke that mold that everyone has been doing. And so, but the thing is that she stayed committed to it. So I gave you a lot of tips. I hope that helps.
Absolutely, absolutely. We love tips on this show. We really do. And right now we are going to take a quick break and we are going to enjoy another one of your performances. 2020 was an intense year for so many different reasons. It just sort of broke when they say your heart doesn't break, it breaks open. It really broke open a lot of hearts, a lot of minds. um the issues with uh race and appropriation and feminism and all of these things. If you were anywhere on Facebook or Instagram or anything, you just saw discussions going on and on and on and on. One of the most fascinating stories that I heard was your story about um, your Jewish heritage and dance. And please tell your story because it's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's really unfortunate what went down in 2020 in social media. Yeah, I was really sad. And okay, so I'm gonna tell you the truth. Um, I think for me, as far as being a woman of color, and in the belly dance industry, I think for me, ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I did not know it was happening, or maybe I didn't want to believe it was happening. I know for sure that I got passed sometimes to be a presenter at a certain, establishment, convention, or whatever. Um, but I chose not to dwell on it. I chose, I let it fuel me. And you know what? I pushed harder.
Mm,
I didn't, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did. And there's no right or wrong way to react to this. There's no right or wrong way. There just is. Okay?
mhm,
But for me, how I reacted to it is I said, F you, I'll show you. And I worked hard. And that's what I did.
mhm,
Okay. Now, for me, there's a lot going on being a woman of color, being a small woman. Okay, I'm a pretty petite. I'm under 5 feet, and being someone who is Jewish. Oh, and then a fifth thing, I'm Israeli. So there's a lot of feelings with that, you know. Um, I'm a person. I'm a human. Um, and I think anyone who deals with me should not get political at all. um, because I'm just a human, so there's no reason not to like me just because I am Israeli. Um, so, here are a few things that have been happening. I know that was long, excuse me. So, there were a few things on social media that people have said that if you're Jewish, you should not belly dance. Um, and that I was really hurt by, and I really needed to speak out. Okay, and I'm not going to get mad, and I just feel like people are uneducated. So here I am giving it to everybody. Israel is such a diverse country. We have people of all different colors. Yeah. I feel that, I mean, there's a lot of themes now that's going to be going on here. Even within my own tribe, my own Jewish tribe of all different colors, I experience discrimination. Yeah.
mhm,
Um, so, as people know, there are Caucasian people who are Jewish. There are black people who are Jewish. There are brown people who are Jewish. Asian people, it's just a religion, right? Um, but the American standard of what a Jew is white. People don't know that Jews are brown. And if you really think about it, where is Israel? It's in the Middle East.
mhm,
There are brown people, there are black people. Yes? Um, so, ethnically, I feel Jews are Middle Eastern because we all come from Judea. We are a people.
mhm,
Yeah? Um, So that's my stance on that. Now, talking about why I cannot belly dance because I'm Jewish. Well, hello. I am Israeli. One, that's Middle Eastern. Two, Because we have all been displaced amongst other people, even Christians and Muslims, we've all felt it.
Mhm.
Because we've been displaced, we are now from different areas, right? My ancestors decided to be displaced and go to Yemen, another Middle Eastern country, yeah, Asian Arabic country. We speak Arabic. We we look like me and darker and lighter, yeah. We have Yemeni dance. We listen to Arabic music. There is belly dance, although it's not coming out of Yemen because we are a very conservative country there. But there is belly dance there. There is belly dance there now. It's not like we're not aware of it, but because I am Yemeni Israeli, I do Yemeni folk dance, and because I'm Israeli, culturally, we belly dance. It's part of our culture. Okay? Now, let me tell you about all the brown Jews there are in Israel. We've got Moroccan, we've got Iraqi, we've got Yemen, me, Syrian, Iranian, we've got a whole slew, so many more, Libyan, Algerian, Tunisian, everything. And I am also have Ethiopian blood. So me, I can't discriminate. I'm everything. So, so I mean, it's beautiful, and I mean, although we've all been displaced, but look at the beautiful people we have now in Israel.
Mhm.
So say that because I can't belly dance because I'm Jewish,
Mhm.
don't say that to me. Because honestly, Palestinians are my cousins. We look the same. We speak the same language. We eat the same food. We have the same behavior, mannerisms. In fact, my husband is Ashkenazi, which is Eastern European Jew. We have less in common than I do with the Palestinian.
Mhm.
Because culturally, me and Palestinians, we are the same. Culturally, with an Eastern European, we are not. We eat different foods. We speak different languages,
Mhm.
but we have the same faith.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Wow.
there you go. I hope that clears it up for you guys. And there's
Yeah.
a great belly dance coming out of Israel. My mission is to put Israel on the map when it comes to belly dance, right? Although there isn't an Israeli style, we have an eclectic style due to the wonderful cultures that we have there. Yeah? And a lot of South American Jews. We're adding a little, Brazilian and Latin flavor. It's awesome. It's just we are so welcoming. And we're the only democratic country in the Middle East, by the way. So,
Yeah.
go-
I think a lot of well, what am I trying to say? In America, um, we have these little boxes that everybody has to be put into. Um, Partly because we're on the other end of the world from everyone. You don't see or experience the culture as much, unless, of course, you're on the East Coast or the West Coast, um, and right around the cities. You usually don't experience people of various backgrounds that often. Um, and sometimes I see in the belly dance community, if you say, "Oh, I'm doing Raqs," okay, there are these 8 moves that you do. There are what 20 songs that you will dance to, and this is the costume that you will wear, and that's it. So
yeah.
if someone wants to sort of break out and do something modern or add a little something else into it, they're just sort of, I don't know, blasphemy or something.
Right. Come to Israel and do it. We want.
So I understand that you're doing a new series on Yemeni folk dance. Is that correct?
We just did a series. We just did it. Yeah, so I'm so super excited about it. It's this country that people really don't know much about, right? But it has so much culture. It's so robust. So what I did is taught Jewish Yemeni dance and all about Jewish Yemeni culture. And it makes me a little bit still uncomfortable to say Jewish Yemeni. Like, because I'm segregating and like I'm separating, but you know what? But there is a difference. There is. That's why. And because we've been displaced and because that Jews were considered second class citizens and they were not and they had restrictions and they were not able to be included in what their Muslim neighbors were doing. So
Oh.
as a result of that, they had to create their own thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I explained that, and it now it sounds silly. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, come on, whatever, you know. But yeah, it's a thing.
So if you were to compare that folkloric dance, and it's really kind of dumb to say compare different folkloric dances, but just to sort of give somebody an idea, uh, let's say compare it to Saidi. Is it
um,
mm,
it's oh, sorry. um, So the movements, let's say Jewish Yemeni dance, the movements are much smaller. Why? It's because they had to hide it. So Jews had a curfew and they had to be in their homes at a certain time and they wanted to celebrate with family. I mean, entertain themselves. So they had to hide their dancing so their footwork is much smaller.
uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and also their footwork is smaller and people dance closer together because what they were dancing to was about love, it was about family, it was about going back to their homeland, which was Israel, because remember, they were displaced.
Mhm.
So that's what they were dancing to, singing to, praying about. Whereas their Muslim neighbors, it was more about, they were more separated. And again, this is from my research, They seemed to dance more in separate and more with knives, the jambiyas, and dancing about winning the war. So different reasons.
Mhm.
So I found that to be interesting. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And what about the music? How does that differ?
Yeah. Um, the music in Jewish Yemeni, the Jewish Yemeni music, sorry, is more drum based. Why? Because they had to stay indoors more. They had to find household utensils,
Mm.
um, garbage to play on. So it's very heavy on the drum. So may I show you a Yemeni drum?
Oh, please.
So because they weren't able to get a traditional drum, this is a metal
Huh.
canister that they
Mhm.
would carry olive oil in,
Mhm.
their garbage in, whatever. So it's hollow, it's open here. So what it is, it's called a pach. And in Hebrew, it's garbage. It means a garbage can. So they would play it here on their shoulder and play here on the bottom and play on the side. And that's the heavy drum that you would hear. That's the difference in the music. Um, and a lot of the time, women would sing. Women would be the artists. Women were the singers. I would love to talk about, SharQui and what we're doing at SharQui, if that's okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Mhm.
So, so we have a virtual studio that we teach signature SharQui classes, and which is the SharQui workout. We also offer SharQui Hit, choreo classes, SharQui Core, where we focus on the abs and back, a whole slew of fitness style classes. And along with that, we also have guest workshops from Sharon Mezgich from France. We've got Latin belly dance workshops. So we're really trying to make our virtual studio sort of like just a really robust, full, where you can, it's like a one stop shop type of thing. We also teach zills and veil. So hopefully, if you want to check us out, just go to sharky.com/online. And I'm super excited about our new launch. It's going to be happening, a soft launch in October, where the SharQui instructor training is now going to be called the SharQui Instructor Academy, where now it's not a 1 month of training, but it's 3 months. So why we're doing this is because people, we want you to put your teaching into practice. A lot of the times when people get certified in something, and again, I'm just speaking for myself from what I see, is they just forget about it. They get certified, they pay the money, yeah, they pass, and then they forget about it. Let's put it into practice. So that's what these extra 2 months are for. So these extra 2 months, I am with you and I watch you teach sample classes. I am with you and I teach you business classes. So not only are we helping you learn how to teach SharQui, but how to get your business started, right? We don't just leave you alone. How the heck are you going to get people through the door, right? How do you start an email list? What about an email series? How do you nurture your audience? What about a website? Where do you find a studio? Like how do you approach? How do you even start that? So we help you with that. And then you also have the opportunity to teach a community class in our SharQui virtual studio. So where you could put your certificate into practice. So I'm really excited about that. That's starting in October. If you're interested, just email me at oreet@sharqui.com. Yeah, and I just want to let everybody know you're going to see more content about Israeli style belly dance, about what's coming out from Israel, about Israeli music, and it's a young country, right? There isn't an Israeli style, there isn't. But what I can say is that there's some great shabby stuff coming from there. Why? There's a lot. The young people now are going back to its roots, and it's all. It was political. People who were Middle Eastern Jewish felt like they couldn't go back to their roots because it was all about having Israel be what it is, the country what it is, staying Jewish, and like having that. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what Israel is, but what Israel is now is multicultural, and I'm glad.
What is your feeling about that? Somebody from another culture coming into your dance.
Some people may not like what I have to say. I just say, bring it. If you appreciate it, do it. Just understand where it came from and its roots. Be educated about it, but bring it. I'm a contemporary dance artist by trade. I love it. I love it when someone who is, let's see, of Asian heritage doing belly dance. Yeah, I love it. It fills my heart. It fills my heart that they're doing the dance that I grew up with. I'm
Yeah.
like, thank you so much because now you are educating people about it. You're making them not be scared to do it. Thank you. That's my take on it. Some people might not like that, but I'm free love, everybody.
We are going to close out with one last amazing performance with Oreet. Thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.
sahlan, welcome to the balagan that we call the Middle East. יש הכל, רק תבחר מה לאכול ותזהר שלא תקבל פה ביס.
There's room for everybody.
יש מקום לכל אחד.
It's time for lovey-dovey.
רק שלא תגמור לבד.
I wanna go and party.
איזה לילה מיוחד.
I wanna feel your body.
אתה תהנה מיד.
Love is a very big deal.
מאוד גדול.
בטח שהערב מתחיל.
רגע, מה?
איך אני אוהב את עצמי, שהלב שלי עושה ברגיל.
יא חביב, say you love me like we do in תל אביב. יא חביב, אלבי, 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 אלבי.
יא חביב,
אלבי, 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 אלבי.
תל אביב.
אלבי, 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 אלבי.
יא חביב,
אלבי, 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 אלבי. וואלה גבר מה קרה? חוגגים בלי בקרה. אל תרים יותר מדי, תעוף לך המסקרה. אשכרה? וואלה יש לי פרייד, חינוך שקיבלתי בבית. תמיד אני נייס, תמיד החיוך שלי לבן כמותיי. קחו לי באושר מוגזם, גאה בי גאה בעולם. עשינו את זה עוד פעם, באמת אתה רוצה את זה גם?
תל אביב ועד כאן